Hi, good afternoon. Please make me host so that we can start. I can't share my screen. Oh. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm seeking for permission to share my screen. I can't share my screen. Host, please, can you make me a host or co-host so I can start and share my screen? Wow. Hello. Admin, please, can you make me a co-host so that I can start instead of waiting? Instead of waiting for others, we can just start.
Yes, we can hear you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can you guys hear me? Please, I'm seeking
Yes,
for
we yes we
I'm
can hear you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm seeking for permission for them to make me a host so that we can start. We don't have time. Like our break is already gone. We've spent like extra 9 minutes, so no need of waiting for others. So I'm trying to reach out to them so that they'll give me access to become host, and then we can just start immediately. Please, if you can reach out to the admin, I've dropped a message on the
Yeah,
group.
the
No
admin
response.
is here now. The admin is hearing us. She's here. She's on this. Why is she not replying?
Make
She's
I can't share my screen, even if it's just co-host. No while so we can start. We have a lot to cover. Or is she having network issue? Because this thing is just recording and we are not doing anything.
Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon. Can anybody hear me? Good afternoon, ma.
Miriam, we can hear you. Do you have something for us?
Miriam. What happened?
I want to ask her that is there any mobile app that we can use to design screen instead of Figma, because there's no light on my laptop and I want to design screen for our capstone project. I don't know if anyone has any idea of any mobile app that someone can use to design screen. Me, I'm tired though. There's no light and
Oh, this life. This life is not fair. This life is fair. Oh. I don't like. I don't
oh
like.
God, I swear. Oh,
I don't like to confess negative things.
But
Guys,
do you
I
know
don't
that I
have
like
access.
the way
I
they
don't have access. Can you guys hear me? I don't have
Yeah, yeah.
access. I don't have access to stop this recording because right now whatever we are saying is being recorded. I don't have access to record it. I've been trying to read them to
Oh,
access to share my screen or be a co-host. No way. So I don't know what at this point I don't know what to do anymore. So if maybe if you have questions, let's just be doing question and answering until the permission is granted for me so I can start.
Maya, can't you reach out to Buma?
I've reached out to Boma, she's not online. I've sent a message on the group. You guys saw it, no way. I don't know what to do anymore. So let's just use this session while we are waiting for them. Let's just use this session
Okay.
to do question and answering. At least this is a party here. So maybe you can just ask your questions. You want me to your challenges or any other thing. So just tell me, ask me so that I can help you through. Even if it's not what we taught in class, like your career challenges at all, we can just help out together. But don't ask me
Yeah,
how much is I'm going to charge for per project. I will not answer that one.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Ma, I asked the question earlier that if there is any mobile app that we can use to design screen, because there is no light, and we want to design screen for our capstone project. And
Let's sustain.
Okay, let
Maybe
me.
let's
Now you made me remember something 2 days ago or even yesterday. Now let me help you out in this thing. Now I'm going to say it again. I'm going to continue saying it. Number one, first thing first is they might be the exact. Vision, please mute. They might be
Oh,
the
okay, sorry.
exact projects you are working on as a beginner. Secondly, on the other side, they might not be at all the same project. Like it's not an existing project. It's actually a project you're building from scratch. Now, this is what you do. This is why you are a UI UX designer or a product designer. Some people call themselves product designer. I believe you all know the difference between these three persons: UX designer, UI designer, and product designer. I will not tell you the difference. Make your research. For me, I am a UI UX designer. Now, I'm a UI UX designer. Now, I focus on the UX and I also focus on the UI. Now, what I do is if I'm building a project from scratch, if I'm building a project from scratch, existing project, what I do is I go for projects that are similar. That's what I do. I'll pick this, pick that. It's just like you're going there for shopping. You pick this, you pick that. Okay, I want this particular screen. Now, your
Maya, I'm not hearing you.
let me switch to my MTN. Hold on. Hello, can you guys hear me now? Finally.
Yes, Maya, we're hearing you.
yes, ma. Yes, ma. You can hear him.
So now let me continue what I'm saying while we wait for this to load. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to just look for a product that is similar to what you are doing. So once you look at it, you say, okay, I've drafted out my user journey map, my flow chart. I believe all this we are taught. So I've drafted out my flow chart. I've drafted out my user journey map. User journey map comes before flow chart. Now, all those your flow chart. Now, how do you want flow chart? Is all about how your user is going to navigate through that project. Then the wireframe is your flow chart into screens. Then your mood board. There's something called mood board. So you hear some designers calling it drafts. You hear some designers calling it trenches. I usually use my own word I use for that is trenches. Now this trenches is like an extra page I created on my Figma where I get to go on different sites for inspirations. I go there, I want my home screen to be like this. I will screenshot it, I will drop it, I'll put the name home screen. Now, if you like now what I designed yesterday, now you can see that this is the home page where we got our inspiration from. But I don't like how the designer did the bottom notification. I changed my own. Now, if you don't like how this particular image, how this particular designer did his own homepage, you can go around and search, oh, I want my notification bar to look this way. You screenshot it and drop. You just pack them together, arrange it like a screen and then tag it homepage. You go to another. It is not compulsory that you're going to copy one project and then implement. No, you can copy. Let's say you want to design a clothing e-commerce mobile application. It is not compulsory that you will sit down on Jumia and copy the whole of Jumia. No, you go out and look at Konga, Jumia. You can even use Glover, this chow deck checkouts, like chow deck. Those of us that order food online, chow deck. You can use chow deck checkout screen to even create your own clothing app checkout screens because it's a nice interface. You get it's something that you would love to implement. So it is not compulsory that you look for one particular project that you're doing your job, then you sit down and copy the whole screen. No, you need to move around to create something different. This is where something like copyright comes in because it's, let's say for example, now this is actually you're a client and you're implementing this, for example, and you copy Jumia will sue you. You get Jumia will sue you for copyright and all. So this is you as a designer. This is why competitive analysis comes in. What are these people doing that you think they are not doing okay, that you want your own product to be ahead of them? That's where competitive analysis come in. Let's say for example, like yesterday I explained piggyverse. We have piggyverse. Now for piggyverse to actually bring this feature of locked savings, local banks are not doing it. Local banks applications, they are not doing it. But when piggyverse came about, this their feature, you can see that people are only just using their bank app for normal transaction. But when it comes to mighty savings, lock savings, they switch to piggyverse. And now piggyverse, like I said yesterday, I'm saving with piggyverse and I'm getting interest. Lock savings, I'm getting interest. The normal wallet savings, I'm getting interest. Like I'm getting interest every month from them, depending the amount you're saving from that their piggy wallet. And one other thing that they did for you, them to motivate you is they will not allow you, they will allow you withdraw your money. But if it is not your withdrawal, they will take 3.5%. By the time you calculate how much you want to withdraw and you see the 3.5%, it will tell you, oh more, this piggyverse is all about the discipline app, how to be disciplined with your money. But local banks are not doing it. You send money from UBA to EcoBank, they will take that to 5%. Is your money, what is my business? But if you want to be disciplined with your finances, you use piggyverse. That is why piggyverse are hitting local banks app. You get now look at OP. OP is a microfinance bank, but you can see that they are doing this spend and save feature. Local banks are not doing it, but OP is doing it. I think I found out that Kuda Bank too are doing. You can see that these people are looking at what's already in the market, getting their own idea to beat. Now, in your own aspect now is you've looked at your projects. I don't know the project you're working on. You've looked at your projects. I want to build this project. Are there existing app or are there similar app like this? Now that's what you ask yourself. Then you make a research. This is where user research comes in. You make your research. Okay, I'm working on a food donation app. There is no food donation app on the App Store or iOS store. There is no one. Now, how do I do? You can use food ordering app, food delivering app. It's actually a food app. It falls under the food industry. Now, but my own is I'm donating to widows, orphans, those less privileged persons, you get. But these people as people that are buying, they are buying to eat, trying to solve their own problem is actually different. Your own problem is different. So you say, okay, these people are my competitors. Child deck users that cannot. What about now? My own is users that cannot afford to eat a good food. How do you help them? This kind of thing. You get to say, okay, these people are my competitors. I need to do better than them. Now, when it comes to getting inspiration from your screens, now I will not tell you focus on this because your flow charts plays a great role when it comes to wireframe. Do you understand? Like now, from this whole example I'm giving you, is I'm not going to tell you give you a word or a sentence and say copy your screens from here. No, because every project you are working for has its own I'm not saying rules, has its own foundations, has its own knowledge, has its own idea. You get. Since I'm working for a food donation, I've gotten my competitor analysis, I've done my user research. Now with this whole idea, I can implement my flow charts, how your user should be able to navigate through the screens. And then when I'm breaking my flow chart into screens, that is where I will now start hunting for inspiration. Now you've done your flow chart, how your user is going now you've done your user research and know how your flow chart is going to be broken into screens. That's where you now start hunting for ideas. Your flow chart will determine how your screen will look like. That's why flowchart is important before you do your project. So you get to look at, oh, I want my sign in or sign up to look like this. I want my welcome screen to look like this. I want my home page to look like this. I want this one to look like this. Your flowchart will determine that. And then that is when you get to start looking for inspiration. Now, I want you guys to write the name of this site I'm going to call for you. Now, where you can get inspiration, number one is Behance. You can get inspiration from Behance. I believe you all know what is Behance. Behance is actually a site we can use for presenting our case studies. You can also use that as a portfolio. Now, number two, you can get designs or inspiration from Dribble. But I will not say Dribble is 100% because there are a lot of 75% errors in design and it can be very complicated. Most of the design posts there are not UX friendly. They are just there for they are just there for let us just fill this site with you know filling of space. Was 70% of that designs on Dribble are not UX friendly. There are 25% of design that are actually good. Now, another site you can get inspiration. Number 8, UI and number Nigerians from accessing the site. I know how to access the site with these designs on UIS. You see Pinterest. Pinterest is design that will take you to different sites. UI and UI Hunt. You see the designs from that place. Now, this is what I normally tell designers. Instead of looking for all the sites, the best thing you do, go to Google. Type. Now, you can see that when I was looking for inspiration for food app yesterday, I just went to Google and I typed. I believe you guys can see my screen. Let's say food mobile homepage. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys hearing me?
Yes, ma, you can see.
Yes,
Okay.
ma. Yes, ma.
Now, I'm looking for a mobile home page, food app mobile home page. Now, you can see that Dribble came out, Pinterest came out, Behance came out, Free Picks came out, Sota Store came out. You can see even Figma Community came out. You can see UI Gizzard. You can see this one schema. So what I normally do, I don't follow this. I will just go to this image here. Once I click on this image here, you can see that a lot of them will come out. Now you can see even that somebody used Cora Draw. So this is how I get the link. You can see frames. You can see even Figma community. You can see Dribble. So if you scroll down, you will see Medium. You will even see somebody's case study, Medium. You will see HTML Burger. Like you'll just be seeing the site. Yeah. And if you want to go to this design now, let's say for example, I want to go to this dream time. So what I will do, I'll just click on the link here. So just take me, although this particular one is before you use any design here, you will have to, make payment, something like that, and it's always having watermark. But this time around, it's just the look. I just want to look at it. So what I normally do is once I've clicked on the link, automatically it will take me to another place. So if you choose to, copy the link, or maybe you just want to only get this place, you can just, screenshot this part. So you can just screenshot this part. So once you screenshot, you can just come to your Figma. You can just come to your Figma and paste it. But if you don't like it, just go back to this site. You just keep scrolling. It will just take you to different. Now if we go to Behance, you can see that it will take us to Behance here. So what I normally do is just go to Google and type the screen that you want, and then it will just, you see what you want. You click on the link, not the image. Click on the link. It takes you to the design itself, like the site itself. Like this design now, if I want to rate it the design, I will rate the design 2/10. If I want to rate it the design, I will rate the design 2/10. There are a lot of errors on this. Number one, the color did not blend well. The colored background and this color, it doesn't blend well. Number two, what is this small font doing here? Number three, now this food here, this particular food icon and food here, these two. Now you can tell this is actually different. You can tell this one and this one is different. Number three, the icon. What is search bar doing here? Why is it not here? This home page, why is it at the center instead of at the left hand side? You can tell there's no proper alignment. And another thing is, why is it a short frame? You get now, you can tell that this has a lot of error, and surprisingly people are liking it. People are even giving it thumbs up and all. But you can make your own better as long as you know what is okay, what is nice. You can make your own better. So this is how you could get inspiration for. Now you can see this UI8 that I'm talking about, but this site you cannot access it just like that. You can't access it like that. You must use VPN. You must use a VPN before you can access it. So you just go to free B, V, VPN from Chrome extension before you can access it. So once you're done, you're going to remove it. So for people that know how to find their way around VPN, can actually use it. It has nice inspiration. So let me show you how to use it. So this is a VPN Chrome extension I normally use for it. You can pay, but if you don't want to pay, you can use it free. Now it's actually on, so you can see automatically it's going to load. Now if you load, you can now sign up as a new user. I already have an account. I think when I have a lot of access for it, I think I got two designs from there. Now you can even preview the design and then see like UI8, like UI8 is my most favorite place where I can get dashboard. In fact, I can get design. Let me just use the word design. Now you can see this nice food app. So you can see how it look like. So you can see. So you can actually buy. You can pay for it, but I'm not making payment. I just want to get an inspiration. So you can see how category screens look like, ongoing and history. You have list of burger, you have the food description. You can see how this one look like, so fine. You can see restaurant's name here. You can see, this and this is the same. Track your order. You can see um um pop-up screen. Then it will tell you if you want more. I think you will have to make payments. So let's see how many dollars it's requesting. So it's requesting for, okay, I'm not signing, so I can't see how much dollar. So I'm not signing, so it's not showing. So if I sign in, automatically it's going to show me how much dollar, but I'm not paying. I just want to get inspiration for it. So you can get inspiration from UI8. So but you have to use a VPN. So I already have an account with them. Now you can see how it has. Now you can see that you can get UI nice inspiration. Is it web view? Is it mobile? Is it website? Is it web app? Is it mobile app? Is it just a landing page? You get to see. Now here you can see over 36 plus pages of this web. So you just come here to view, and then you see it has nice UI. Behance too is actually a good place. Pinterest is a good place. Now you get to see this is just for $18. But I would advise you to create your design from scratch instead of buying. So you can come here to preview. So when you get to preview now, you can see this landing page is looking so clean, so neat. So I so much love this landing page. So you can see how it is. You can see that this is actually a nice and clean landing page. I so much love how this is actually looking like. So I think I'll have to save this in my bag. So I'm going to save this in my purse. So this is how it look like. So another place to get inspiration too is from community. Community is actually a nice place, but I know you're going to see a lot of junks there, but you're going to see nice designs from community. I so much love this agency landing. I just love how it's being clean used. I love the color. I love how they use black and white for it. It's so fine and neat, and I love the font choice because this is actually my favorite font choice. So this is actually fine and clean. Okay, so that's how to look for inspiration. Just go to Google. Once you go to Google, automatically it will just bring different links for you. It might even show you tutorial on YouTube. It just bring different links as long as you type the right word for there for it. So if you're looking for a product description page, just type product description page, mobile or web. It will pop up for you. You will even see something related to what you're working for. You will see something off too, but just go there to pick the right thing. You can even see from Figma community. So that's how to get inspiration. Don't just focus on one particular. Yes, I'm looking for, it is composed that I'm working on food delivering app. I must copy Jumia food or Uber Eat or Uber food. I must copy. No, just look around, work something that is outside of what is already existing. Try yourself, like think outside the box. So that's what I would tell you guys, especially as a beginner. Do so. So we are going to continue our designs. So um are there any other question you need to ask? Is there anything that is challenging? Is it something that is difficult? Is there something that you cannot try? Is it something that you've been trying but it's not working? Okay, even if it's not the part that I taught you, even if it's the UX part, oh, this in particular thing is giving you headache, you want me to assist you, you want me to guide you, please, this is the time to do so. This is the time to do so. So
Okay,
but
I have a question.
okay.
All right, I have two questions, and they are majorly on number one, auto layout.
Yeah, what on what?
Two is on components.
Yeah, what on auto
When you're
layout?
working
Auto layout that falls under where?
auto layout,
I can't hear
okay,
you.
this sounds simple. I said
I don't
number
know.
one, auto layout.
Okay, auto layout on where?
Number two, component.
Auto layout. They
Auto
have
layout. While I was, please go ahead, man.
So let me define auto layout. You don't say auto layout is actually a topic on its own, just the same way a component it is. No, auto layout is just help you group your work. It's not like a topic on its own. Auto layout is just to
No go
help
give
you
up.
arrange your work.
No dey
Can you hear?
talk. You no go give me say still drink and put for beer. Chew.
Dasola, Dasola, please mute. I don't know who you have
Yeah.
just
I'm sorry, please.
okay. So a topic on its own. When I mean a topic, I mean like components. Components is very wide. Yes, it's not like
Yeah.
a topic like that. I'm just going to use the word topic. You get the auto layout,
Okay.
the use of auto layout. Like if you watch my design yesterday, I actually use grouping. I actually use frame selection, and I use auto layout. Now, the work about these three now is I'm going to use a button to show you the difference between the three of them. Now, I'll start
Okay.
by grouping. You can actually auto layout is just like you're grouping your work together. You're grouping them together. It's the same thing as alignment and spacing. But with auto layout, it will just automatically help you do the work very fast. But with frame,
Slow
frame
mo. Your sound is doing slow mo, like Matrix.
I thought it was even my network.
Hello, I can't hear you again. Oh. Hello.
It's
It's
general.
general.
It's general.
Okay, general. All right.
Alpha, what are we doing now?
Okay, please, can you make me your host again? I don't have bad network. Hello. Admin, please, can you make me the host, please? Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Admin, please, can you make me host or co-host, please? Okay, so while we are waiting for them to grant me access to be host, I will continue. So, auto layout is, if you don't want to use auto layout, I will advise you to use framing instead of grouping. Now, grouping is actually going to mess your work up. You get, so if you are to choose between frame selection and group selection, I will advise you to use frame selection. Now, the reason why I always tell people to design with auto layout is auto layout, like I said, auto layout can be very, very tricky. Like, this is me telling you, giving you a sincere truth about auto layout. It can be very, very tricky. I have shed tears because of auto layout. I'm not going to lie for you guys. So if you don't know how to use auto layout, you can go ahead and use frame selection. But where minor things that you can use auto layout, for example, your button, you can use auto layout. I would advise you to use auto layout. But any other thing you are designing, just use frame selection. Okay. There are some things that you cannot,
Okay.
play around with. I will tell you the truth. There's no need for you using group selection in every other thing you're designing. Because if you want to drag out one thing inside the frame selection, if you drag it out, it will go off. Like, it will leave the frame selection and stand on its own. But with grouping, if you like stretch it from the beginning of your Canva, your Figma Canva to the ending, it will still stand gidigba. You get that is one thing about frame selection or group selection. But frame selection, once you just drag it out from the frame, automatically it leaves the frame selection and stand on its own. Same thing with auto layout. But auto layout, once you drag out something, it's going to mess up your arrangement of work. Okay. So if auto layout is very difficult for you, leave it and use frame selection. But I would advise you when it comes to your button, just use auto layout. It's better that way. But any other thing, as long as you cannot play around, not compulsory for you to use auto layout. But if you have the privilege to master auto layout, is a win for you. Okay. But this is me telling you this disadvantage about auto layout. It is very, very tricky. It can make you shed tears. I have cried because of auto layout. I had to call people who are higher than me to come and help me out, and also my colleagues to come and help me out.
Man, we know the year word. We are
Sometimes
coconut.
if I don't want to call them, I'll have to. This is me telling you. If you cannot work with auto layout, please, sir, please, ma, use frame selection. It is better that way. Then, when it comes to components, now your second question is components. Now, this is me telling you to use component for something that you know you're going to use more than one. You're going to use more than one time. Now, remember yesterday when I did those food card and I told you guys I would love my prototype when I click on the love for it to, come up and come off, go off and come on like that. Now, and you remember I have already duplicated my food app. I have arranged it. I have made it to be, put it to my um position I want it to scroll. You get, I've already fixed this thing. Before I said, no, I want this love. If I click on it, I want it to be going off and on. Now, imagine I did not move that food card in components. I'm going to actually give myself double, not even double. Then, like, I'm going to give myself, yeah, double work. Like, I have that card duplicated like 12 in that time till I get to 12 to the 12th card. Now this is me punishing myself because I actually wanted to use that card more than one, but I made a mistake and I will now start collecting them one. If that is actually not in component. But if that is, now you can see that that was already in component. All I did was I just got the feed love, like the open love and unclick love. I made interaction between them. I copied the one I want to copy. I went to my components and then deleted the one I used there and replaced it with this one. Now, immediately I replaced it with that one, I went back to my prototype. It was working. It's because I actually used components in that. Now, I made another example 2 days ago where I said, if, for example, I gave you a task to work on and you did not use components, and the day I'm supposed to review your work, let's say I was not available that day and I came the next day to check your work and the screens were supposed to be, for example, 40 screens and you've already done 25 and I came, you did not use component in your button. Things you're some element that you used more than one time, you did not use component. And I came and I dropped comment, change this, change it, and you're seeing comments over 20 comments, and you did not use components in those elements, you use more than one. You get? This is you giving yourself double work because you start adjusting those things one by one. Imagine you adjust this one by one by one. You now start deleting, start dragging this one to duplicate to cover up all those places. But with components, imagine, let's say you, Fola, you did not use components and Wisdom actually use components. Both of you work on the same project. You guys made the same mistake. And I just click on that. I'll just drop, and I dropped same 20 comments for Fola, same 20 comments for Wisdom. Now, because of Wisdom actually used components in his work, he will just say, okay, ma, I'll get it done right away. And before I will even leave the file, automatically I'm going to see the corrections. because he has already gone back to the component to make the adjustment on the component. Automatically, it will reflect in the 25 screens. But Fola, you did not use component. You're going to waste your whole time. Now, one thing about component, one advantage about component is it saves time. Like it saves you so much time and it's easier to work with. You get? Now, my interaction input field. My interaction input field that I just did now. Let's assume that I did that input field. Like, I wish I can share my screen. Now let's assume that interaction this thing I did, where you be on one screen, you type full name 3 times, it will just display. Let's assume we did not do those input field. Input field, those things, those places you type your name, it is called input field. Now let's assume those input field, we do not make it component and will not make it interactive. You're going to make, like, imagine one input field is 3. One input field is 3. How many input field are there? The first name is 3. Email is 3. That is 6. 6 screens. Then your phone number 6. That is 9 screens. Then your password is 3. That means how many? 12 screens. Then let's assume you now add confirm password. That is 15 screens. So that means if you did not do your input field interactive components, you just made it only components, you're going to have 15 sign up screens, which is actually going to full everywhere when you're doing the prototype. But with interactive components, you're just going to, now I have only one sign up, but I have multiple input screens. I just made them in the component, but when I'm displaying the designs, it's just one screen. When I want to do the prototype, you can see the interaction working. Okay, now you have 15 screens, so for only sign up, screens don't full everywhere. Then let's assume you now do for error. You now do for error, maybe error first name or error password or error phone number, or error email. 15 plus 15, that is 30. You now have 30 or less than 30 screens. Or let's just say you have 20 screens for only sign up. You've not even started other designs in your work. But with interactive component, it is much easier. Okay, yeah, your interactive components can only work when you want to do prototype for your work. But if you don't want to do a prototype for your work, the interactive component will not come in. What will only come in is just the component itself. Okay, but you as a designer, you want your user to test your product. You want your user to test your product, so automatically you're going to do prototype for the product. You get. So I hope I answered your question, Fola.
Yeah, you do. Thank you so much.
Did I have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mhm. Abdul, do you have question? Please, admin, can you
Yes,
make
yes,
me
Yes.
co-host, please?
yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
My first question says, um, for a prototype now, how many screen does a, let's say, a project needs to have? Like a professional project, how many screen does it have to have?
There is no particular number. Your flowchart to determine numbers of screens you're supposed to have on your
Okay.
project. That is why I will tell you as a designer. That is why I will tell you as a designer, you don't charge per screens. You charge per the weight of a product. That is
Okay.
how I charge, and that is how
Now,
most people I have met.
charge. Okay, my
Prototype.
second question, you just mentioned that now. So what's it called? The charging rates for a product designer or charging fee. What's the range?
Hello, can you guys hear me now? Host, please, can you
Yes,
make
we
me
can.
Yes, ma'am.
admin, please, can you make me the host, please? That's all. That's all. Sorry if I'm murdering your name. I'm sorry. Please. I don't know who has that question. Is it Fola? No, not Fola. Abdul, I think so.
Yeah, I'm the one that asked.
At the point I could not hear you. Come, go ahead. Go
Like I
ahead.
said,
Go ahead, your
for a product
question.
designer, how much can we charge? Okay, let me just put it that way. And what's the range of charges?
There's no particular fee for a particular project. That's why I say you charge per the weight of the project.
Okay, what's the range?
I won't tell you. I know
Because
there's no range. There's no particular amount. Every designer, every freelancer charge according to their experience in the project. There's no 200,000 for e-commerce. That is the fixed amount. No, I charge based on my level, based on my knowledge, based on my skills, based on my energy, based on the stress as in me, like my own. I don't charge, I don't say all e-commerce product is going to be 150, 120. I don't do that. I charge based on my worth. Joy, you're not the admin, you're not the host. Please make me host. Please. Joy, please help us. You're not the host. Just automatically make me the host or make another person co-host, please. In case my network misbehave, another person can, move it to another person. I beg. Joy on
Please,
this
I have
call.
a question too.
Yeah. Sorry, so let me say to Abdul. Abdul, did you understand?
no, I'm not, like, I didn't get the answer well. Because I know for every project now, let's say for every industry, they have charging rates, right? So now, person coming to me and I'm a first timer, now calling a price that is more than, because maybe you already have someone that has done the thing or he knows how much they charge. So me calling price just be like, seems this one is not ready or you don't know what it's doing. So I want to know the range. Let's say, okay, the least amount you can charge and the highest amount you can charge. So I'll know the range when sales what's it called, when the project comes. Do you get it, ma? Yeah, wisdom answer.
Wisdom and Joy, I've given you guys access to as co-host in case my network messed up. Automatically, if I come back, you just make me host or co-host, please. Okay, so Abdul, now I guess you guys can hear me. Now let me answer your question for you. First thing first, let me use myself as an experience. When I started UI UX design, I did not put my mind in the money first. I gave my whole of 2021 to learn the skills. The first time I laid my hands on a live project was December 2021. In fact, I was 10 months in UI UX because remember, I said I dedicated my 2021 to learn and perfect my skills. I did not put my interest in money. You get? Now, number two to your answer to your question is there are no fixed price for a project. I charge based on my level, my stress, my experience on a client's project. You charge based on the stress, based on your level, based on the solution you're going to provide for those clients. There are no fixed price for a project. I will not come out and hold mic and tell you for e-commerce you must charge 200. No, I don't do that. I charge based on my level. Now, as a beginner level, I will advise you not to go on the high side because one, you're going to work on a life project, you're going to learn on the job, you're actually going to work with real users, and then you don't need to charge very high, charge low, because you are playing like, I don't want to use a fair game. You are giving out the best, and you're also learning from the best that you're giving out because you're a beginner. There are no fixed price for a project. That's why I said I charge based on the weight of a project. That's what
Thank you, ma'am.
I get on the
Please, I have a
call
question.
with them.
You.
Explain. We are on the same page, and I'll analyze this idea you get. What do you mean by considering low for a beginner on a certain project? Did a client reach out to you that you should design a project for them? Unmute, Emory. Unmute, explain yourself.
I just wanted to get to general knowledge. Let's say nobody reached out though. I'm just saying, let's say we finish this now and then we share our ideas. Okay, that this is what we've done. We've been able to share, build this and build that. And then somebody wants to offer us a job, like something to do, right? I don't they're blank without knowing what to say or knowing how to analyze um what makes up the charges. You've mentioned the stress and all that. We don't even have an experience of the stress, and we don't know the level of stress to experience. Right. So I'm just asking it. I'm just throwing it out there in case there's a general knowledge, maybe from your own experience as a beginner. What did you face? Maybe
You,
handling your first project.
you cannot say that you've not experienced stress because you're working on a capstone project. At a point, you will get stuck. So it's part
It's
of
not
stress.
financial. It's not financial. So any stress you experience, you just take it as
I'm
part
not
of the
talking
learning.
of
No,
financial. I'm not talking of financial stress. I'm talking of the stress of getting inspiration, stress of making out research. What are these people doing that you think you can do better? It's part of stress.
now in the real world, how do you equate it to finance? Like how do you equate it to how you charge people? That's the question.
That is what I'm explaining for you. I don't charge based on because I want to buy a new laptop, I will charge you 500 million. I don't do that. I charge based on what I this is what I said. Now, if you pay attention to what I said a client will reach out to me. You get, I want to build this project. I want to this, I want to this. I will get on a call with you. I will have to, understand this project. I'll say, okay, I will make sure that I'm working on the same step as you are, as the client. You get, and then I'll tell the client, okay, I will make sure that I will summarize the project for this client, like say it as if I'm talking to a nursery two student. Once I'm done, the client will say, oh yes, this is exactly what I want. This is the idea. This is this. And I will ask him, do you have any competitors? Some of them will tell you no. When they tell you no, definitely your stress has moved from level 1 to level 2. Now you go find competitors to this guy. You get? Now, in that aspect where you're the one going to look for the competitors, this is where I'm going to say, okay, can I call you back? Like this is, I don't discuss payments immediately. I will have to, let's have another call. Let me go and make a research. Let me go and talk to users. Find you're a UX designer, you have to talk to them, depending the kind of project. Sometimes they'll come with projects that less stress. Let me talk to this user. Let me see. let me go and search for your competitors, and then we can discuss price based on the solution I'm going to provide for you. And then we'll have to go. Then this is me on as a UX designer, where I get to know who are these guys' competitors. By then, if you're knowing these guys' competitors, this is where you know, okay, if it's already existing project, you know your stress is going to be less. But if it is project that is not has not been in the market at all, this is where you have to think outside the box, cracking your head. Now, you don't want to stress yourself with this whole thing. Sometimes you get to put up a call. Sometimes you get to make research. Sometimes there are some apps you cannot. I'm talking for a mobile app. There are some apps that you cannot use your iOS to look for. Android has a lot of apps than iOS. You get to look for who is using Android apps to make research, download app, this data you get. So all those things. Sometimes some clients will tell you a project that is not even existing in Nigeria. Their competitors are USA. And there are some sites you cannot even access like that. For example, nobody has seen Jumia admin dashboard. There are some sites, let's say all this caregiving app is not even in Nigeria. I've not seen any app that I say, okay, let me upload my app and look for nanny. I don't think I've seen such. Those things are existing in the USA. So all those things are your stress. So you don't want to waste such data and then you charge this client. So when you've analyzed all these things, then you come back to the client and say, based on the research, based on the idea, based on this, based on my level, based on my experience, this is how much I'm going to charge you. And then you give your clients room for negotiation. So sometimes designers are always scared of calling amounts because they will tell you, let me not say design, freelancers are always scared of calling price because if they call high price, you will hear the client to tell you, don't worry, I will get back to you, and the client will ghost you. So in this aspect, you will not tell the client, oh, I'm going to waste so data in this. You want to do so. I'm going to waste 5 gig in this. You don't want to open your mouth and tell your clients that kind of thing. You just tell your client based on your level, based on the research that you've done. You can tell them. Sometimes I do research. I will just do the research for them, without even letting them, telling them I've already done it. I'll just tell them based on the research I've done, based on your competitors that I have seen or have tried to use their apps. This is what I think is okay for you. Open your mouth and you say this. This is you. You've convinced them. You've told them, like, you first of all convince them before opening your mouth to tell them the figure. And then you can actually say, oh, there's room for negotiation if you want to. If you don't want to open the room, you can close the door. But you tell them there's room for negotiation, and then you allow them to negotiate. Sometimes some clients let's say for example, you tell a client, oh, I'm going to charge you 1 million naira for this particular project. The client will just tell you your fees is not 50,000 naira, and you'll be shocked. But this is you not ghosting him. You let him know, okay, this is this. Don't put your mind or your hope that it is the money you want, but your mind should be on, like, this is the solution you want to. Your focus should be on the solution, not just the money you want. Do you understand? So that is why I always say it as a beginner. 3 months into UI UX. Like, this is me. I'm using myself as an example. I'm not saying, yes, Nigeria is tough. I won't lie for you. Look at us having national grid of 18. Me and you cannot buy fuel. We are just, trying to blend in to survive. You get SAPA everywhere. The spirit of SAPA flying up and down. Anybody hit it, it could dry the person wallet. You get, so all those things. I know you're trying to survive, but don't just put your whole hope. Oh, I'm learning these skills because I want to start making money. I want to start eating the new oil money. No, learn it because you have your users in mind and you want to provide a solution for them. So I would advise you, like, put your whole energy, learn the in and out, back and front. Then when you now want to raise your shoulder and talk to clients, as you are giving them the price, your English is blending, your knowledge is blending, trying to convince them, everything will blend together with the money, and then a client will be convinced and give you the work to do. Sometimes some clients will tell you, can I see your past projects? If you don't have a portfolio, nothing for you. I've worked with a foreign client that said, like after I cleared the clients, I talked about things about these clients before I now said it. The first thing that the client asked me is, he didn't even negotiate. He just said, "Can I see your portfolio?" I said, "Okay, yeah, fine. It's a link." He said, "Send it." I sent it for him. It was like, okay, I was just hearing, He now said, "I can't afford this your price, but this is what I can afford." First thing he said is, I know I cannot afford you, and you are actually a true designer I want to work with. You've actually convinced me, but I can't afford this your price. Can I pay this? And when he said so, at a point I felt okay. If at a point I said, okay, yes, I intentionally call a higher price. And I know that if both of us negotiated, you're going to blend in what I think is okay for me. Okay, so when he called the price, I was like, oh, thank you. I understand that this is your budget, but can you be little understanding can you understand the research, the analyze your competitors? Like I had to convince him, Oga, climb up small. You know how to speak your stuff. Climb up small. You get, when he looked at it, he was like, that he really want to work with him based on the way I've convinced him, but he can't afford me. But at the point I said, okay, let's work on this budget, not your own budget that you called, but let's work on this budget. And when he looked at it, he said, no problem, it's fine, let's go. Sometimes some clients will tell you, I will give you 50% start. When you finish, I give you the remaining 50%. Some clients will tell you the sign an NDA and all. The work continues from there and all. So I will advise you as a beginner. I don't know if some people already have experience before this training, but perfect your skills very, very well. Like even if somebody tap you from the sleep to wake up and do something, you can be able to use your sleep eye to do something. You get, before you can raise your shoulder up and then be your client. But don't be higher money. Nigeria is tough. So don't charge 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 with conscience. Like tell your clients price with conscience. Tell them, like, when you're giving them price, give them price with conscience, because I know some of them are actually rich, very, very rich. Politician will meet you and tell you they want to develop this thing. I know, yes, charge, but charge with conscience and make them understand that this is the research you're going to work on. You not tell them that I'm going to spend 5 gig to make this research. You won't say such thing. Or I'm going to pay for one template like that. You will not open your mouth and say such. The client will look at you as somebody that is not serious. That's why I always tell my designers, perfect your UX skills. Once you perfect your UX skills, UI skill will just be like Bobo for you. To be very easy for you, because you can actually manipulate it. You can actually look at the screen and manipulate it in your own. Now you saw that all those design I was doing, I was just doing it from my head. The reason why I was just looking at other design, is just like, let me blend to you post pattern and look at the design to draft out my own. You get. So that is it. I believe I answer your question. Do I have another question? I want us to design that mobile. I want us to design that mobile website we did. Some persons reach
Yeah,
out to me. How do you want
yeah, I
us?
have I have a question now.
Yeah, Abdul.
Sorry, how do we go about products?
How do we?
Go about physical products. Like if the project is based on physical products, let's say any random physical product, right? Are we like after the UX part, will we be the one to design the bottle? Let's say for instance now, Pepsi now. Will we be the one to design the how the Pepsi bottle will look like or something?
No, that is the job of a brand identity designer.
So ours is just to do the UX
You're
part.
you're you calling yourself a UI UX designer, taking up the course. I believe you made research to understand what a UI UX designer does.
Yes.
So those are done by brand identity designer. Your logo self, it is not you that does the logo. It is the brand identity designer that does the logo, give it all the colors, the font choice. It is the brand identity designer that will give you. Then it is you now create the style guide that will guide the developer when implementing the project for you. You
So
understand?
no, not yet. So where do the job stop? I mean,
Let me repeat what I said. I said you want to let Pepsi now, Pepsi, Pepsi, they don't let me say Pepsi want to design a mobile app. You are in their team as a designer. They have a complete persons. They have the motion designer. They have the graphics designer. Now I'm going to explain. Motion designer is a designer that those video that somebody will open Coke, it will just pour inside a cup and then it will just show you Pepsi number one choice, all those kind of video. They are being done by motion designer. Graphic designer are those people that post flyers on social media platform. Flyer, believe it or not, is flyers, banner, all those banners used to see along the road. Flyers on the social media telling you we're inviting you for 5 days program, we're inviting you for a tech event. The time, you see the venue, you see all the speakers on one paper, on one display. Those things are called flyers. They are being done by graphic designer. You see the brand identity designer, where you get to see. Let me show you something. So I'm going to open Behance. Where you get to see water bottle or shirts. Let me show you something. Or soap. Let me look for tote bag, water bottle. So let me see if I can search for shirts. Now you see all this brown something. Okay, let me use water bottle. So I think it's more better. It's not what water bottle the Beyonce will call it. I don't know what they will call it. Now you see all this brown something. Now you see this brand, these things are not done by UI UX designer. They are being done by brand identity designer. Yeah, they are also done by the logo designers. So you can see this bottle BAB stuff. I guess you can see my screen, guys. Now something like this. Something like this. They are not done by UI UX designer. The UI UX designer can actually create something like this. If this bottle image is being given to you, you can just add this. But as a UI UX designer myself, I don't do this. These are being done by brand identity designers. So they are the one that also will give you the fonts you are going to use on the Pepsi project. They will be the one to give you all the colors you will use on your Pepsi project. They'll be the one to give you the logos you will use on that Pepsi project. Logo on white background and logo on colored background. They'll be the one to give you those ones. But you as a UI UX designer, all you need to understand is the type of colors, like the definition of color. Now we created a blue food app. Now, if you remember when we started, I said no food app is blue color. Blue color are not meant for food app. Food app are meant with this pinkish red color or yellow color. Now every color I'm going to look for this document that gives definition of colors in a product. So I'll share that. I will look for that book. It's actually a soft copy. I'll look for it and forward to you guys. Every color has definition, has this feel for a project. You cannot use blood red for a clothing app. You get? So every color has the definition. So all these products you are looking at, it is not done by you. Your job is when the brand identity design. Now the brand identity designer is actually going to show you how to use the logo. So your own is just to get the logo in SVG or PNG and then create style guide. When I mean style guide, I mean color input field. Remember what is style guide? Color input field, your topography, icon collections. They will not be the one to give you icon. You'll be the one to go and use your own icon collections. But it must rhyme with the kind of font you are using. You understand? Or I should explain again. Did you guys understand? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Did you understand the question, Abdul? Or I should repeat myself again? Is Abdul on this call? Okay, do we have any other question? I want us to design that mobile view.
Yes.
Okay, ask your question.
Yeah, my question is this home screen display where we have our bottom function bottom button something
Bottom
that is
navigation.
always permanent.
Bottom navigation.
Yeah, bottom navigation. How where you if we have it on the home screen and we want to design any other screens, do we still need to include it or it will only be on the home screen?
It will only be on the home screen, the favorite screen, cat screen, and setting screen.
Okay, any screen that is down here, that's where it will be on. But
Mm.
other screens will just be plain without it.
It will just be plain without it, but with a back button.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Please, how did you make it permanent? Because I couldn't do mine. I
I did not
after
make,
setting everything, it didn't stay like I don't know.
I just see what I did. I just brought it like this and I kept it inside. It is actually going inside this my auto layout. So let me lock it. Now this is what I did. After I'm done, just place it inside the screen. It came to position it at the center, horizontal center,
Mm.
and then to the bottom alignment. So now the next thing I did was, okay, let me open this card. Now this card, this is how it looked like. It's long.
Yes, because you
This
can
card is
so
now it's long. So what I did was, after you've done auto layout, let me
yes.
zoom in. After you've done auto layouts in it, so this is how it will look like when you automatically do auto layout. So what I just did, I just had to just reduce it. Like I just reduced these guys here and then brought it inside here. So when I brought it inside here, it is time for me to arrange it. So just put it at the position I want and then align at the center. Now, if I align at the center, you can see that it has covered my bottom navigation. So it's either I just bring this to the down or I come to this my layers here, click on this bottom navigation. That is why it's always good for you to rename all your component, your elements. It's always good to rename whether auto layer, whether in component or not in component, whether in frame or in group. It's always advisable to rename them so it can be easy for you to track what you are doing there. So I'm just going to just move these guys here, and this is how it will look like. Now there are some screens you will see that will look this way. There are some screens you will see that will look this way, especially on Behance. There are some screens you will see that will look this way. They'll tell you to look like this, and then you will now see this guy somewhere here. You will now see these guys somewhere here. You will now see this guy somewhere here. This is also a good UI, but this is like a good explanation of how your screen will be displayed. This is how it will look like. But I would advise you to just do this and then make this scrollable. So there's no need for this particular one. So this is okay like this. Any other question? Any other question concerning your challenges? Don't know how to be your clients, having issues and all. So let's design a mobile view for any other question before we design the mobile view for this screen.
Uh, Sorry, ma.
Sir?
My data got exhausted, so I could not hear your response.
Wow. Where did you stop?
I was asking about a
No,
physical product.
where did you stop when I was explaining?
I think you're talking about you asked me that I think developer or something, I forgot.
Now you're asking of the physical, and I said I'm just going to summarize what I said. I said now you're asking me if you're the one that is going to produce or design this, and I said no, you're not the one. It is not your job. It is the brand identity designer's job, where they get to do something like this and send it for you. They'll be the one to design the logo, tell you the font you're going to use, tell you the color you're going to use.
Mm.
So you'll be the one to create a style guide with those information sent across. So it is not your job. But if you have an idea and you know how to do it, it is already part of your skills. You can go ahead and become the brand identity designer and also the UI UX designer.
All right, so
So it's not your job. It is not your job. Any other question? So I want to design this mobile view because some persons are asking me, how do we create this in the mobile view? Now, this is one advantage about hey, my glass. This is one thing about auto layout. Now, I have made all those things in auto layout, and it's not going to take me 5 minutes for me to. It's not going to take me 5 minutes for me to design this mobile view. But since I'm teaching you guys, it's going to take me 15-20 minutes to design this. Now, first thing first is I'm going to pick my mobile. For instance, I'll be using iPhone 13 and 14. So somebody was asking me a question yesterday. Can we use this is iPhone 13, 14? Can I use different frame like iPhone 16? No, you cannot. Now the reason is I'm using iPhone 13 and 14. Now you can see the size 390 times 4 844. Now if I'm using iPhone 16 Pro, let's use iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now you can see how it is. So there's no way now you can see how the thing is. So if you are using this particular phone frame, automatically your prototype is going to be that same iPhone. It's going to be that same iPhone 14. So this is the size I'm using. So I'm going to use iPhone 14. You get. So if I'm using this particular frame, automatically I'm going to use iPhone 16 Pro Max. I'm going to use iPhone 16 Pro Max. So there's no way you can use this frame and design, and then when you want to preview, you're using this one. To not work. Oh, like you just let me change this color to black. Then okay, let's change it to red. Now imagine your design is being done inside. Imagine your design is being done inside an iPhone 14, and you want to preview your design. You're using iPhone 16 Pro. This is how it will look like. This is how it will just look like. This is it. And by then you start questioning yourself. Now let's imagine this is your phone mockup. You start questioning yourself. What is happening? So before we do this, let's do something that is actually very, very sweet. Let's settle the mobile app before we can, switch to this. So I want to teach you guys how to post your work on social media because trust me, social media is a great power that can push you. It's like it's a great power, it's a great bomb that can explode you to somewhere that you can you somewhere like let me use myself as an example. So social media. Sorry if I'm mistaken pronouncing R and L together, no vex. Anambra guy be. So if you see one thing about social media has given me a lot of recommendation. Social media has actually pushed me to where I have never been before. Social media has actually um make me have a lot of friends, virtual friends that I have not seen. Social media has been, let me just use the word, posting my work, advertising myself. It's like it's a weapon. It's not a weapon fashioned against me, but it's a weapon that has pushed me to where I am now. Now, this is me in a kind of way giving you my testimony. I started UI UX design 2021. It was that same 2021 I met Puma. It was that same 2022 that she made me fall in love with UI UX. I was just learning it for learning's sake. She made me fall in love with UI UX when she moved to Abuja and Lagos. I met her in Lagos again. She made me like she made me say UI UX, now me and you, nothing can separate us. Like I actually fell in love with it, and I actually like I don't know how I've been swimming in the ocean of UI UX, and that same posting my work, advertising myself, has given me a lot of friends, both friends that turns clients, both clients that turn friends. Because of how I was posting my work. Then imagine people that because of posting my work, people don't know my face, but they know the name and they know my work. Like because of posting my work and advertising myself. So I would advise you guys to always post your work, even if it's not fine, even if it's jagara jagara, post it. Make a room for comments, feedback, when they are dropping their comments. Some comment, trust me, some comments can be very rude, some can be very harsh, but just pick the correction you want from those comments and then work on your design. You will do better. Trust me. Challenge yourself to do something that other has posted. If you duplicated somebody's work, challenge yourself to also, give credit to this person. Oh, I replicated your work. Oh, this is the outcome of what I will do. Thanks to this person for giving me the motivation to replicate your work. Those kind of thing like that. It will help you. Trust me, to help you. So I want to teach you guys how to create mock-up for your design and post. I don't know if you guys have done something like that. So if you guys have done something like that, there's no need of teaching you guys. We move to the mobile. But if you've not done something like that,
Not done
you
it though.
it not even allow me to land. If you guys have not, okay, since
We,
you said you guys have
we
not
need
done,
it for our capstone now. We need it.
okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do mock-up for your design for web and the mobile. So I'm trying to reduce some file, some Figma this thing so that it's not open my app again. Because I noticed that Zoom is actually very, very heavy. So it always affects my laptop. So I'm going to close this too. I'm going to close this one. Leave this one. Let me see this one. And let's see the first one. Hey, it. Okay, so let's look for mock-up. So I'm going to look for mock-up. So I want to put this screen, my on body. Like I just want to put these screens I have designed in a mock-up and then share with you guys. Let's say I'm a designer, I've done my mock-up, I want to post my work. Trying to see if I can close some. This design is going to show me. So what I'm going to I'll come to these files and templates. So guys, give me like 5 minutes. Let me turn on the gen. Okay, let's continue. So I'm going to click on files and templates. So I need a nice mock-up. So you can see that there's a lot of mock-up here. So I'll just look for the one that is very fine. So I'm trying to see. So I'm going to look for iPhone 14 frame. So, but these ones are looking dynamic island. I did not use these ones. So you can see there's a lot of mock-up, like a lot. You just pick the one you want. So you can see now you can see both those shirts mock-up, but sometimes designers use this. If you just want to do a random write-up for your t-shirt, your brand name or something like that, maybe wisdom the guru, wisdom the best, you can just use it. So I'm trying to look for the one I normally use. You can see there's a lot of mock-up. So it's just the choice is yours. You can see the choice is yours. So this is it. So I'm looking for the favorite one. So I'll be using this particular mock-up. This is okay. I'm going to use this one. This is actually not my favorite, but I'm just going to use this. So just the same way you go to Figma, open in Figma. Click now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Okay. I'm going to use my okay. So now I have opened a lot of mockup. Now you can see that there's a lot of mockup here. So let's pick the one I want. So I just want to put just this onboarding screen. I just want to put these three onboarding screens inside the mockup. So I'll be using this one. So which one should we use? This. So I'll be using this particular one. Let's use this one. This is actually looking nice and presentable. So I'll be using this one. So what I'll do is I'll just come here. I'll copy. I'll come to this my design here. I'll scroll. Hey, God, I don't like if if somebody's ringing my house there. So this is where I'm going to copy this here. And then so sorry guys. Somebody was actually ringing my house there. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm going to repeat that. So let's delete it. So
Sorry, ma.
I'm going to so once I'm
Ma.
can you hear me?
Sorry, ma. Are we going to go on break today?
No,
Because maybe we might need the 30 minutes to just charge our stuff a little bit. I don't know.
no, I said it on the group, no break.
Alright. Okay, ma.
So now I've opened the mockup and this is what I'm going to do. I will just copy. I will just copy it. So once I copy, I'll come to so once I copy, I'll just come to my design and then I'll paste it here. So once I paste it, so you can control C, you can right click and copy, you can also right click and then come here to paste. So this is how it's going to look like. So first thing first I'm going to do is I'm going to export this. So this tree I just want to put in the mockup. So I'm going to come here and then I'll scroll to this place. Just after the layout grid, I'll click on plus sign here. So once I click on plus sign, it will bring out this. And then the best to export your design is 4x for brighter look. So I'm just going to export it. So you see that enter. So I'm going to do the same here. So I'm going to just scroll to the last, click on this plus sign, scroll again, move it in 4x. Now you can actually preview this design. You can actually preview what you want to export to make sure that everything is actually inside the frame before you can click export. So this is why it's always good for you to actually rename your frame. So I'm going to export the last one. So I have exported them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on this. So I'm just going to click on this part, the first one that is 01. So I'm going to click on it. And then I'll come to this place. Yeah, I'll come to this. You know, this is already short. You have screen one, you have phone one, phone two, and phone three. So I'll come to the phone one. So it's showing me phone four. It's showing me phone four. So if I move this out, automatically it's there. So I just noticed that it is first frame, but I don't need this one, so I'm going to take it out. So I'm going to click this one here and I'll open it. So this is showing me blue. Yeah. So I'm going to open this here. I'm going to open this lock here. So I'll click on this phone blue. This blue. That is this one that is the image blue. Then I'll come to this image here. Then I'll come to sorry. Sorry, this is where I'm going to open. So I'm going to open it and come to this one that says placeholder. This one that says placeholder, not this blue. This one that says placeholder. So once I click on placeholder, and then I'll come to this place image, I'll click on it. So it's showing upload from your computer. So I'm going to upload from my computer. It's going to be onboarding screen one. Then I'll take it. So once I put it, this is how it's going to look like. So I'm going to repeat the same process for screen two. So I'm going to click on the phone two. I'll come here, I'll open it, click on this drop down. Then I'll click on this other one that says screen to update. Then I'll click on this placeholder. When I click on this placeholder, this is how it's going to be. Some will tell you image, some will just tell you like the write-up will be clear, placeholder or add image, or add your design. But the definition will be okay. Another way for you to add this thing without going through this place is just for you to click on this screen. Like you can click till you get to the position. Now you can see that I have clicked and gotten to the position. So you can see that I've clicked and gotten to this position. Automatically it opens. So let's do another way to do this. So I'm just going to, let me click out. So I'll click on the phone three, then I'll click till I get the position. So I'm just going to click. You can see that I just like you're going to click, not one click, you're going to click 1, 2, 3, like depending how many it's showing here. So in this aspect, you just 3 clicks, 4 clicks for it to get to this particular one. So sometimes if it doesn't work this way, you just come here to select them. So I'm going to add on screen 3, and then this is how it's going to be, and then this is how it's going to be. So this is how it's going to be. So if you want to make this place to be white, you can come to this place now, this fill color. You can remove it from liner. So this is actually in liner. So I'm just going to make it plain, and I'm going to make it white. So if I make it white, this is how it's going to look like. So I can choose to make it colored. So I can choose to make it colored. Since I already have my colored system here, I can just, export it. Now this is how it's going to show when I export it. So I can come here and, export it. So once I export it, this is how it's going to look like. So I can come to WhatsApp and then upload it for you guys. So have you guys received it on WhatsApp? Hello?
Yes, ma, we have seen it. But after you put all of them together, what did you now do to export it? You just
Come again.
I said after you put them together inside that, so how did you now export it? You saved it.
I did not frame anything. I did not export anything. I did not frame anything. Did you understand what I did? Is this your question?
No, I said after you put all of them inside that the mock-up stuff, how did you transport it to send it on WhatsApp?
The normal way they to export, you export it is to export as image.
Okay.
You export it as image and then upload it. Now let's try another one. Let's try another one, adding the home page, the splash and the onboarding. So let's add another one. So let's use this. Let's use this for. Okay, let's use this one. So you can just copy Control C, Command C, how you want to do it. I'm just going to take this here. I'm just going to Command V here. So this is what I have. So I'm just going to, marble this now. It's not going to work for what I want. So I just want to make it 5. If you want to, if you don't want to, don't play around with it. If there's no 5, you look for the one that have 5. Because if you try to play around with it, you mess it up. So I'm just going to work with this 4. So I will add my slash and 2 onboarding, and then I'm going to add my slash 1 onboarding, sign up page, and then the home page. So I already have my onboarding screen, so I'll just go and export my home page. So I'll export my home page. So I'll just do the same way I export others. So I'll just export my home page. So I'm going to export the sign up. And I'm also going to export my splash screen. Now I'm going to come to this place. I'm going to click on the first one. Come to this layer here. Click on this drop down and click for the one that says place folder. So once I click on it, I'll come to this image here. So this is going to be the splash. So where is the splash? So the next one, I'm just going to, multiple click it. So this one is going to be the one onboarding. So I'll be using the third onboarding. So this is going to be sign up. And the last one is going to be the home page. Now, once I'm done, I'm just going to export them. So you can choose to export it as JPG, SVG, PNG, and PDF. But the best is to export this is PNG. So I'm just going to export it this way. Okay. So it has exported. Now let me share it on WhatsApp again for you guys. Okay, now you can see that, guys, are you guys with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you can see that I have actually exported those. I've done mock-up for the mobile. I've showed you guys, so you can even choose to use this plant one. It's just the same pattern. So the mock-up has already been done. It's just for you to pick the one. You can see this one that is showing multiple. You can use ordinary display. You can use this one. So you can also now you cannot use, remember now, this is how this dynamic screen is. So this will work if you actually use the frame size. Okay. So if you use iPhone, for my phone, I think iPhone 14, I think so, have this dynamic frame. So if you're using dynamic status bar, I don't know why I think that question did for it today. If you're using that particular one, you are free to use, like let's say you're using a iPhone 16, 16 has this dynamic display, and you're using status bar of this dynamic display, you can go ahead and use this one. But if you don't want to, you can just use this iPhone 13, the normal one that everybody is using. Okay, so you're free to use either this display or this display, but it will determine on the kind of phone frame size that you are using. So, but at this your level, I would advise you to just use so at this your level, I would advise you to use iPhone 13 to iPhone 14 and 15 Pro, because using this larger screen, iPhone 15 and this, using this larger screen, sometimes like this Pro and Pro Max, it's actually large. Using it sometimes you might actually not know how to play around with it, especially how to set your layout grid for it. Okay, knowing the kind of size of phone to use. Sometimes this phone has larger screen display, and where you're supposed to use 12, you went and used 10, it will look smaller. So the best is just use the main device like iPhone 13, iPhone 14, anything Pro or Pro Max, just leave it and use the normal, the first iPhone from 15 series, or maybe 15 series, or 14 series, or 13 series. So if you want to use iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 and 14, iPhone 16, you get iPhone 15, you get using iPhone, the Pro Max or Pro, the screens are actually large and it can mess your design up, especially when it comes to the font sizes. It will just mess the only place it has disadvantage is your font sizes. Where you're supposed to use 12, of which this particular place I'm going to use 12. And because of the frame sizes you're using, you now use 12. It's not making it look tiny like if you're using 10 or 8. Okay, that is the only disadvantage. So advantage is just use iPhone 13, iPhone 13 and 14. You cannot use big iPhone for now. I use this main one. It's actually okay. And it will help you, get faster mock-up for you. Okay. Then another, now let's look for a larger screen. Let's look for, now we've done for the mobile. We've done mock-up for mobile, how the mobile view will look like. Now let's look for the larger screen. Now another thing about this mockup is, now this mockup is just a default mockup size. Now remember, you want to post your work on social media, and you know that every social media has its own dimensions of the kind of image size it will take for you. So this is what you do. You just come to this place, and you click on social media. So when you click on social media, you can see for Twitter posts, you can see for Twitter header, you can see for Facebook posts, Facebook cover, Instagram posts, this and this. So what I normally do, if I'm done with this like this, so this is what I will do. So I want to post for Twitter. This is what I will do. So once I click on it, so this is how it will look like. Now you can see that Twitter post, this is actually smaller for Twitter post. But you can actually post something like this on Twitter. It doesn't matter. But when you want to do an header, so let me see if I can open my Twitter for you guys. Let me show you something. I'm not a fan of Twitter after they hacked my account. I don't know if my Twitter does not open. Okay, let me use Behance. If I've not removed it. Okay, let me open LinkedIn. Let me open LinkedIn. LinkedIn is better. Because Twitter is to ask me to log in now. So let me open LinkedIn that is already logged in. So while we're waiting for it to do, let me explain something. Now you can see that Twitter posts the dimension, the width is actually longer than the height. So you can post this thing like this on your social media platform. But let's say, for example, you want to create a LinkedIn heading or LinkedIn or Twitter header. So let me see if it's open very fast. Now this is my LinkedIn account. So you can see that this image here, this is my background photo now. You can see you cannot just post anyhow picture, like you cannot just post this image of this size there, it won't work. So you need to get the dimension. You need to get my network is so slow. You need to get the dimension before it can actually work. Okay, I don't know, it's supposed to show, but my network is very, very slow. Now this is it. It's supposed now you can see that the width is actually longer than the width. So this is how it works. So this is how it is. So if you want to make post for like this, something like this, like let's say you want to design something for your own head and your background photo, you just get the dimension. Sometimes Figma will provide them for you. Sometimes Figma will not provide some for you. I think Behance Figma did not provide for Behance and LinkedIn, but Twitter and Facebook Figma provided, Instagram Figma provided. You get, so you just get the dimension and you go to Figma and you design anything you want to design in that one. So that's how you work for. I think you can actually post something like this. I'm not an Instagram fan, so I don't know. But for Twitter, you can post something like this. And you can post something of this dimension. You can post something like this on Facebook of this same dimension. You can also post on Behance too of this same dimension. You can post on LinkedIn of this same dimension. But for Instagram, I don't know because I'm not an Instagram fan. I don't know. And also for header, you can see that Figma provided some. They didn't provide some. So what you're going to do is just get the dimension of where you want to post it, and do whatever you want to do. Now let's say, for example, now this is dribble. Now this is how dribble shots is. Dribble shots are very, very too small like this. So you can see that it is very, very small. So this is dribble. So I think I have dribble account. I abandoned for many years. Now you can see that dribble. You can see that these are dribble shots. These are dribble shots. These are project I posted it on. Then I'm not going to describe. These are dribble shots you get. Now I'm going to show you. I'll show you how to get mock-up like this. It's just the same way. You just go to that. You go to community and then type mock-up. You're going to see mock-up like this. So this is actually not a mock-up. This was something I created from scratch. Okay, so this is design like this from scratch. So you can post your work like this. You can post it in a phone mobile like this. You can post like this. So this one you can get it from community different. Like all these designs, I got them. All this mock-up, I got them from community, but I actually just have to join them together by myself. They are not being displayed like this. You might not see the exact thing you want from Figma coming, you might not see the exact thing. You just, join them together. Now for this dribble shots are actually very, very small. Their dimensions are actually very small. Now in this aspect, you will not just bring this your design and push in this way. You can see that this is actually looking small. So what you just do for dribble shots, you just come to, now I have export this image. Now I have exported this image. So all I have to do is import the image back. So this is what I'm going to do. So I will import the image back to my Figma. So I'm just going to, when I import the image back to my Figma, it's actually going to be very big. So it's still loading.
So let's wait for it to export. Now you can see that the image is actually big and it's still loading. Now this is the image now. So I've imported the image back to my Figma. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll just use my scale. So once I use my scale, I'll just come to this place and get the dimension. So I have 400 over 300. So I'll just come here, click here, 100. This is how it's going to look like. So once I type 400, this is how you're going to do. I'll just put it inside this place. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
You can see that I have imported this image back to Figma and it's actually looking too big. So all I have to do is just to scale this image to fit in this frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the dimensions, which is already 400. I'll just, scale it and put the dimension. And then I'll just copy it into this frame. And then once I copy into this frame, this is how it's going to be. And then I will rename the frame and then export the whole of this frame. And then I can post on any social media platform that required the dimensions. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now I want to do mockup for the I want to do mockup for this particular I want to do mockup for this particular landing page. So first thing first is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for a web mockup. So I'm going to look for a web or desktop. Just type desktop or web mockup. Now you can see this is actually provided, which is actually nice. You can see this. This is provided is nice. So I just need now you can see this. So I just need a web mockup. So I'm just going to try and create a web mockup. So I'm going to look for a laptop screen. So let's see if I can use. I'm looking for like a laptop display. Let's try. I've never tried this, Mr. Mockup. Let's try this, Mr. Mockup. Mr. Mockup. Let's try this, Mr. Mockup's. I've never tried this guys on before. Let me try it now. So I've never tried this Mr. Mockup. So let's try it and see how it turned out to be. So I'm going to click on the mockup to take me to the mockup here. So let's just, so I'm going to copy this mockup to my design here. So I'm going to paste it here. Wow, it's so big. So let's see. I don't need this background. Okay, background goes with the laptop. So let's pick, let's download this image. So then I'm going to export this image. Okay, now we've exported the image. So I'm just going to place this screen. Now you can see that immediately I click on this, it's telling me add your design here. So Tom, you can see placeholder, add image, add, it just telling, like it will just give you where you will add your design. So I'm just going to click on this, going to upload from my computer. Now if I add, you can see what happened here. Now this is another error that some persons might not know how to play around with this. So if you don't know how to play around with it, so this is another way you can export just only the hero section without exporting the full design. So this is what I'm going to do. So let's just take this out first for now. So I'm going to take this. So I'm going to export only the hero section. You get, so the normal hero section display of a frame is 144 times 1028. So I'm not guessing that. So that is what is already here. So for desktop, I'll be using 1440 times 1024. So I'm going to come back here and then I'll type 1024. So once I type 1024, this is how it's going to be. So I'll just rename this. So I'm just going to give it another name and then export it. So I'm going to come here and then undo this. Now replace it with just, so I'm just going to replace it with just only the hero section. So I'll come here and then replace it. Now this is what we'll have. So what I'm just going to come here to do is just to adjust it. So I'm going to now crop the image. So this is where I will now have to play around with cropping the image. So this is where I will now have to crop this image and then bring it down a little. So this is what we have. But this is why I would say this particular mockup is not actually fine because it messed my design this way. So I will have to go and look for a better mockup. That's why I said I've never used this particular one because I know a lot of people complain that his mockup is actually complicated and all. So I'm going to use a better one, and it's a laptop that is actually facing my direction. So I'm going to use this one. I think this is actually okay. So let's try this particular one. So I'm just going to repeat the same method I did. So I'll just come here, click on this. I say design. Then I import my hero section. So I'll just bring this down a little bit here. And this is what we have. So I can upload, I can export this and then um, post it. So I'm just going to be posting it on our group so I will be seeing it. Are you guys with me? My network is a bit bad. Are you guys with me?
Yes, ma'am.
My network is a bit bad. The network is bad. I can't export. So just the normal way of exporting. So now let's try another handmade mockup. Let's try handmade mockup. Like mockup we can just generate as a mockup we can just generate as a designer without looking at the community. So I'll be using a default frame size. So I'll be using 1000 over 1000 frame size. My desktop is very bad, so I can't even import a frame. So I want to use default frame size of 1000 over 1000 to just make ordinary handmade mock-up. So I don't want to get any mock-up from anywhere. I just want to make something of my choice. So this is what I'm going to do. I already have my landing page imported. So I'm just going to export it. I'm going to import it back. So I'm going to reduce it to the size I want. So since I'm using frame size of 1000, so anything I'm doing is going to be inside the frame. So I'll be using like 700. So I'll just import 700. I'll bring it this way. So, but it's actually still big. So I'm going to bring it inside this frame here. So this is actually big. So I'll be using half of the frame. So I'll be using half of the frame this way. So I want to make it a drop shadow because the minute I just place the image, it just automatically lap with the design. So I'll come here and play around with shadow. So I'll be playing with, I'll bring it this way. So let's stretch it a little bit. So let's make it like 1200. So I'm going to play around with shadow to just make it as if it's like on top. So I'll come here and use drop shadow. So I'll come to this place. So I'll be playing around with this is Y, this is X. So I'll be playing around with just the X part. So I'm going to just play around with this place. I'm just going to play around with the shadow, this part. So I'm going to first thing first, I'm going to take it out from, like, moving from the darker part. I'm going to change the color. And then I'm going to play with the blur to make it look like C is on the top, like it's on top. Then I'm going to reduce this opacity to maybe 10. Now this is how it's going to look like. So now if I click out, it look as if it's on top. Then another thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my scale to just drag it a little bit to I increase this frame size. So I'm just going to do it this way, and then I will then duplicate this screen. So I'm going to make this screen start somewhere from here. So I'm going to increase it a little bit. So make it start from this particular side, and then I'm going to make this one to start from this particular side here. So I'm just going to make it to start from this particular side. So if I wanted to start from services, no problem. Since my landing page is actually not long, so I'm just going to make it to start from somewhere here. So I automatically will now reduce this size. So I'm going to reduce this size like this. So I'm going to turn off this drop shadow. I don't need it. And then I'm going to make it to be under. So this is how I'm going to make it. So I'm going to use my lighter shade of blue for this, like this. So automatically I will have something like this. So if you want to put your name, you can go ahead. Now, if you look at this drop shadow, you will now notice that it's actually looking as if it's on top. That's one thing about drop shadow. Now you can see that I have created a mock-up with just frame and then images. Like you can create mock-up with just adding your screens. Now you can see that I have created something beautiful like this. So if I export this, let's call this mock. Let's call it landing mock-up. So I'm trying to export this so I can send it on the group for us to see. So I'm going to send it on the group. So every mockup I have done, we'll be sending all to the group. So that one is landing. So guys, you've seen how to create mockup. Sometimes you can create mockup by yourself. Sometimes you can create mockup with from the community, and also you can create mockup with plugin. So there's a plugin called 3D mockup. So you can come to this plugin and just type for mockup, and then you will see plugin for mockup also. You can see plugin for device mockup, and also you can see clay mockup. You can see this. So you can just come here, run the mockup. Now you can see this mockup. So I'm going to click out. Now look at this kind of mock-up too. You can just come here to select whatever you want to select. Let's say let's use MacBook Pro. You can see you can come to this place and you can change this way you want. So you can come here to change it, the position you want. You want it how you want it to be. You want it like this. Now it's showing you that now you can see select a layer. It's giving you a dimension 128 times 800. So if you actually use desktop frame of 144 times, you don't even need to panic yourself. All you have to do is just export it. Once you export it, bring this dimension frame and put it, and then return your image inside. Reduce your image and then return it inside. Then export it again. Automatically, you will have this dimension. So it's giving you how you can rotate it. So I'm going to select for now. See for Pixels 4. I think this should be like Android. Now you can see for Android, you can change the device color. So you can come here to change the device color how you want it to be. So you can come here to use this. So it's giving you your device color based from this your based on the color code that you set. So that's what it's going to give you. So if you want to use black, you use black. So if you want to change to iPad, this is it. This is it. So if you want to change to your browser, this is it. If you want to change to, you want to have that your browser chromeless. You don't want it to have, if you want it to have Chrome, that's Chrome. You can, if you want it to be blank, you can use blank there. So the choice is yours. Then once you are done, so it's going to tell you select empty frame. So you're going to select any of the frame and then you save as image. Automatically it will save in your laptop memory. So this is going to be like, this is a clay mockup 3D. There's a lot of mockup tool to find as plugin, but you can use plugin as mockup. You can use plugin as mockup. You can also use, go to the community to look for mockup. The choice is yours. Do you guys understand? Did you guys understand?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So now let's design the mobile view for that landing page, because I got a lot of people asking me, how can we design the mobile? How do you do this? How do you do that? So I'm going to design the mobile. So I'm not going to delete anything here. I'll just move it somewhere here. So now let's design the mobile. Now, first thing first is I'm going to get my status bar. Okay, let's use another. Okay, let's use this one. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to convert. Now, I'm going to get this. Now, I'm going to get my header. Now, all this is actually going to be inside hamburger menu. So, I'm going to reduce this to 390. So, I'll bring it in here. So now what layout grid are we using? So we'll be using the normal one we've already created. So I'll be using for the mobile. So I'm just going to come here, click on this, and then adjust this to this position. Now I'm going to get my hamburger menu. I'm going to go and get my hamburger menu. So I already have the plugin saved. So no need to go to this action to look for it. I already have it saved. So I'll just come to this place. So I'll be using this one. So now you can see that immediately I put it, just move. So what I'll just do here, I'll just take this image to the top and automatically it will just adjust for me because of that settings. So now this is one sweet thing about auto layout. I don't even need to stress myself. Now you can see that I'm already done with my um I'm done with my header in my mobile. So now let's work on this. So I'm just going to come here. Since these guys are already in auto layout, so I'll just come here and then click on the vertical layout. So this is how it will look like. Then I'll zoom in to click inside this one too, and then make it vertical layout. So once I make it vertical layout, this is how it's going to look like. So all I have to do is just to come here to reduce these guys here, then make them at the center, then also come to this part and then reduce it. So once I reduce it, I'm going to also make it the center. So this is how it's going to look like. And then I will now look for a small frame. So I'm just going to look for a small frame and then dump it this way. So I'll make sure that the frame is just going to be, let's change this color. Let's change the color first. So let's use this color. So I can get the frame size I want. So I'm going to, how do you want it to open? Do you want it to open full or small? So this is how I want it to look like. So I think I'm okay with this size. So I'm going to drop it here and I'm going to change the color back to white. So once I'm done changing the color back to white, I will carry this guy and then put it inside here. So this is how it's going to look like. So I'm going to place it at the center. Now I need my X icon. So I'll just go to get my icon. So I need this cancel icon. But since it's not giving me what I want, so I'll have to go to this place and look for any X icon. So since it's not giving me, automatically I'll have to create one for myself. So this is what I'm going to do. That is going to be very, very simple for me. You just have to go back to my mobile where I've already created it. I already created it, so let me just play around with it. I'm going to dump it here. So I'm just going to play around with it and use my scale to bring it down to 24. So once I bring it down to 24, I'm going to change this red to be green black. So it's going to be somewhere here. So if it's actually looking too small, so it's looking too small for me. So I'll have to make it 32. And I think this is okay. So I'm going to make sure that the height here and the width here is actually the same. So I'll be using 20. I'll be using 30. Yeah. So I already have these guys here. So automatically I have moved this header in this right up inside an hamburger menu, which is this icon. So when I click on this icon, these screens will come up. So I'm just going to reduce this guy here. Okay, so I'm good to go. Now let's continue. The next, I'm going to change this to the sidebar or hamburger menu or whatever you want to give its name, no problem. So the next thing I'm going to design the hero section. So since I have already made everything in auto layout, it's actually going to be very simple for me. So all I have to do is just to bring out this hero section here. So once I bring out this hero section, then first thing first is to reduce this font. So I'll be using 28 for mobile, and I'll be using 16 for mobile. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll just come to this place first. I will reduce it to the screen size that I'm using. Now I'll reduce it to the screen size I'm using like this. Now you can see that this has actually moved, but the image has not responded. So I'll just come here and then move this image here. I'll just move this image here. So I'll just start clicking all of them one by one. So this is what I'm just going to do. Since I already have the measurement, I'll just click on it and to just respond immediately. So I'm going to hold this and this and drag it this way. So this is set to now remaining the font. So I'm just going to bring this there, and then I'm going to center. So once I place at the center, this is how it's going to look like. Now this is why I said auto layout very, very tricky. But if you know how to play around with problem, but auto layout, remember, push this inside like this, drag it this way. So I'm going to drag this to this point and this to this point. Now we're going to pick this and go to our mobile and then place it and make sure that the text does not cross our layout grid. The image is free to cross, but the text should not cross this layout grid. Now you can see that from what I've already done, I've already made almost, it's in fact it has gotten to the line. If you check it, it has gone to the line. So I can choose to just reduce these guys like this. Then I'm going to so now the next thing I'm going to do this section. So I'll just drag this text section out. All I have to do is just to click. These guys are already okay. So this image size is big. So I'll just click on this particular one and then make it vertical. So once I make it vertical, I'm just going to automatically type the frame size that I'm using. This is how it's going to be. So anything I'm doing inside here is actually going to be inside this 390 this way. It's actually going to be this way. So first thing first I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this. So once I drag it, I'm going to reduce this font size. So what I use here is, now what I use here is 20. I'll be using 16 for mobile. So and I'll be using so I'm just going to drag and it will just respond. So it just respond to you. But if you cannot use auto layout, then you are free to create your mobile from scratch. That's the one thing about if you not use auto layout, you're going to create, you're automatically going to reduce this image using my scale. So I'm done with the image. So what I'm just going to do is just to bring this guy in here. So once I bring it in, I'm going to adjust it now. So I'm going to cover up this space here. So I'm going to turn off this layout grid. So if I turn the layer grid, I want to see what I'm doing here. So I don't need this too much space. This space is too much. So I don't need this space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and then come back to my auto layouts here to adjust the space here. So once I'm done, I'm going to reduce this guy here. And then I'm going to turn on my layout grid. So once I turn my layout grid, you can see that I am almost getting to the sizing, but it's more than. So I'm just going to drag it this way. And you can see that automatically it has adjusted. So that is one thing about auto layout. But if you did not use auto layout, you actually use grouping or you left it like that, automatically you start, start creating it one by one. Start creating it one by one. That's the only disadvantage I don't like. That's the only disadvantage I don't like about framing. But with auto layout, you just it's very tricky, like I said. You just start, um adjusting it to the size of screen. For the spacing, there's no much work, but arrangement, there's no much work. But the only thing is just sizing, like adjusting it to the size of the screen. That's the only work I know that auto layout will give you. Now for this our services, now you can see that I'm doing it. You can see that let me put a color. You can see that I'm doing it section by section, which is actually easy for me. Now remember we reduce the font now to the side. We do not touch the button because the button is a perfect button. But since we are designing for a mobile, we don't need hover button for mobile. So once I'm done with the design, I'm going to change all the buttons to the normal standard buttons. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I want to design for our section screen. So I'm going to first thing first, change this font to be 24. I need to confirm what I'm using here. So I'll check if it's 24 or 28. So I'm using 24. So I'll be using 28 here. So the reason is because this font here is actually bolder than this. So if I'm using so this is actually bigger than this. So I'll be using my title text, which is 28. Now the next thing is the body text. So the body text is going to be 16 instead of 20. So this is already in component. So what I'm just going to do is just to play around with just this text. So I'll be using 16 this. 18 is actually not bad. So I'm going to leave it in that 18. So I will not be playing tampering with this because 18, 16, they are almost the same thing. So I think I'm just going to leave this same way. And then I'm just going to make this to be vertical. So I'm going to scroll and then make this in vertical format. So once I make this in vertical, I'll just change the spacing to be 390. So you can see that 390 has already covered these guys already for me. So what I'm going to do is this our services here. I'm going to hold it and then increase it to see what I'm doing. So the next time I'm going to click these guys inside and then I'm going to type my frame size. I'm also going to hold this and then type my frame size. Now you can see that I've already typed my frame size and you can see that these guys actually came out. So all I'm going to do here, this is where you can just, turn on your layout grid or apply your layout grid on this particular one here. And then you can now make the adjustment. So I'm going to hold these three together and then play around with my scale. So I'm just going to play around with my scale, which is actually okay. So I'm going to return back to move, and then I will adjust this to be inside. So I'm going to remove this guy and then bring it inside here. And then I'm going to position it at the center. So I don't need this space and that space at the top. So I'm just going to close this space. So I'm going to turn off my layout grid. Now you can see that I'm almost done with the landing page. So the next part we have is going to be this part. So first thing first is, now let me scatter, let me remove all this grouping auto layout of 18. So let me just remove everything and then make it from beginning. Another way you can do it. So another way you can do is I'm going to see the size of this guys first. So let's see this size. This size is actually bigger than my screen. So it's 400. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick this size. So this size is this size is 336. So I'm just going to hold these guys together. Now you can see that immediately I put it to 3 sizes, then it shows that I'm going to adjust everything inside. So this is like giving myself double work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come here now and start adjusting. You can see that depending how if you use auto layout, it will be very easy. If you use framing, you have to follow this process. You get. But another way too you can do, I will not advise you to scale your work, because if you scale your work, you're going to mess up with this font size. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the fonts, the body text font, and then I'll have to move it to 16. So once I move to 16, you start adjusting and up. So you start adjusting and up. But in this aspect, this is me trying to show you how to use frame and how to use auto layout. The choice is yours. I'm not stopping you not to use anyone you want to use. The choice is yours. But just know that if you're using frame, you have to pass a lot of stress. If you're using auto layout, it will be very, very easy for you. So this is what I'm going to do. So, and now in this section, you will have to create another one. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to now detach this from auto layout. So I'm going to go back to my main components. So let me go to my main component and then play around with it. Now this is my main component. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this place, make it fill. Then I'll come here and then make it hug. This is actually, I'm going to place it in fill. Then let's see this one. This is actually fill. So I'm going to turn back to what I'm doing. So once I come to this place, I'm going to undo these guys. So I want to undo this thing to return it back. Now I've returned it back. So this is what I'm going to do now. Now, if you use scale, let me show you something. Now, if you use scale, one disadvantage about using scale, now let's say we're using scale, and now I've scaled this, automatically it will give me what I want. But it will mess up with my font. So it will mess up with my font, which will now give me 15.2. So this is another thing you can now come here and then select your font like this. So it will mess up with your font. It will give you in decimal places, which is not what we wanted. We just want it to be actually correct. This is another way to mess up with your font. So that's another thing. So if you're using scale, if you scale your work, automatically you will have to adjust the font. That is another easiest way. But you have to adjust the font to avoid misunderstanding between you and the developer. Do you understand? So I'll be leaving it that way. I will use this one. So this is, to me, this is actually a double work I'm giving myself. So I will have to work with the process that actually suits the way I work. So I'll just bring this here. So I'll just bring this here, and then I'll adjust this to normal frame size. This is going to be 390. And you can see that 390, even this one frame is actually bigger than that one. So if I drag it this way like this is how it's going to look like. This is how it's going to look like. Okay, and I want it to show 2. But now, if you don't want to, another pattern, another good UX is if you don't want to mess up with it, because by the time you reduce this, it's actually going to look too tiny. So another pattern is what you will do. You have to use now carousel to tell the user there are other you now have to tell the user there are other, card inside. So this is another way. So I'm going to look for it here. So let's use this to indicate and tell the user there are other card inside. So I'm just going to place now. The reason why I'm using this one is because I already have it on the file. So, but if you don't have it, then that means you have to, design it. So I'm just going to take this out from component because it's not part of what I'm using for the mobile. I'm just trying to create something for the web. So you just tell them like how many are there. So they just say this is the first one, second one, third one, and all. So I'm just going to place it and say that, oh, I have others inside that place just to indicate my users. Then the last one is going to be this. So, but if you want it to be 2, then you start adjusting it card 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 till you get to the one you want. That's another way too. So I'm going to place this at the center and then bring. So I'm going to take these guys down here. So the next is going to be this particular one. So this particular one, the same way I adjust the hero section, that's what I'm going to do here. First thing first is I'm going to reduce the font size. So this is going to be 16. This is going to be the 28 because it's big. So I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to reduce this. So you can come here and type the size, and you can come here to type the size. You already know the frame size you're using already. So I'm going to come here, then reduce this guy. So I'll be holding these two together and then adjust it this way. So I'll hold my contactors, then I'll bring it inside the frame, and I'll adjust it. Then turn on my layer grid to arrange it. So it's already arranged. So I'm just going to arrange this one to get to this position here. So this is good to go. It's already fixed at the center, so I don't have issues with that. And then the footer, which is the last one. Now this footer is actually going to be the very simplest, like this. So on the mobile, we don't need this guy. We don't need this guy. So I'm going to just arrange this one in one line and this one in another line. So I'm just going to see what I've done here, and then I'm going to hold this and this and then make them auto layout. And then I'm going to hold all of them together. Just make everything straight. So I'm going to reduce it to the frame size I'm using, 390. So I'm going to, it's already at the center. So I'm going to start first and reduce this font there. So I'm just going to reduce it to 16. So I'm just going to reduce it. So also going to reduce this. So I'm going to hold this and then reduce it. Now, if I reduce this guy, to show that this is actually too big, so I'm just automatically going to make it straight, and this guy should stand on its own. So this is what I have. So I'm noticing that something is outside, so I'm just going to hold it and then bring it inside here. I'm going to hold this and then make it my normal frame size. So if I'm making my normal frame size, this is how it's going to look like. So now you can see that this one did not adjust. This rector here did not adjust. So all I have to do is just to come here and then type my normal frame size here. So this is how it's going to be. Now remaining this, adjust this other part. So I'm just going to click on this and notice what's the error, and then I'll just drag it inside this way and also this way. So I'll just bring this footer in here. So I'm going to turn off my layout grid. So once I turn off my layout grid, let me see how it's been arranged. It's okay. So I'm just going to close this here. I don't know where that guy is running to, so but I have to just bring it down and then close this guy here. So I'm going to come to my prototype and then show prototype. I'll make sure that these guys are not connected to the web because I took them from the web. I'll make sure they are not connected to the web. Then I'll have to, take it out. So I'll have to click on all of them and then take it out. So I'm just going to take them out. No, I took it from the web, so automatically, if I play around with the mobile, it's actually going to affect the web. So I'm just going to remove it from the web. So this is what I'm going to do. So now I want to create a prototype. When I click on this, it will just, react to this. So I'm going to hold this guy, hold back to my design, hold this guy and this status bar, and then I'll make them frame selection or auto layout. Yeah, anyone is your choice. So I'm going to add a fill color, and I'm also going to make them fix in a position. Fix. Now this is what I have. So if I scroll, this is how it's going to look like for the mobile. So you can actually hover like this with your hand on, like card can be hovered on a mobile, but button cannot be hovered. Now you can see that you're going to just tell your user that there are other listings. So when a developer is actually coding this one, your developer will now say, okay, as it's moving, it will move to the next one. It's moving to the next one, and oh, but display is just an indicator to tell your user there are other card coming from this angle. Then yeah, mobile, you don't hover a button on mobile, so this is wrong. Like this is actually very, very wrong. You don't hover a button on a mobile view. So this is how it's going to look like. So you don't have that scroll to the top here. You just click on your home here. It takes you. Now I want to design a screen where if I click on this, this is actually going to come up this way. So I'm going to go to my prototype and I'm going to come to this hamburger menu here. So I'm going to click, move it to this screen. So once I move it to this screen, I'm going to have this setting. So once I have on this, how do I want it to trigger? So I want it to be on tap. So once it's going to be on tap, I want it to, navigate. How do you want it to navigate? I want it to show like open overlay. You get, so it's going to be open overlay. So how do you want it to be open overlay? How do you want it to display? So I want it to be like to the menu, which is already the screen. How do you want it to be? I want it to come from the top left. Sorry, top right. It's going to come from the top right. So this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to add a background. Like when I click on it, this is how it's going to be. So when I click on back, it's going to return. But I want it to have like open, like a dark background, like a dark background. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to click on add a background, which is dark, and close when click outside. So when I click outside, it's going to close. Yes, that's what I want. So this is what is going to happen. So when I click on this hamburger menu, this is going to be now. Do you want this background to look more darker? Yes. So I'm just going to, make it a bit darker. Now you can see that I'm making it darker and this is actually reflecting here. So if I click anywhere outside, this is how it's going to be. So this is what I just did. So I'm going to click here. So this is how it's going to be. So if I click anywhere, click here. So, but if you want it, if you don't want to click anywhere, you want, if you click this guy to return, you can actually do it that same way. So you can just click here and make sure you navigate to. So this is how it's going to look like. My iPhone frame is actually okay because I clicked on that screen. So this is how it's going to be. Now, if I click on this particular screen, this is what will happen. So even if I scroll to this point and I click here, this is what will happen. So if I scroll to this point and I click here, this is what will happen. So if I scroll to this point, click here. So even if I scroll to this point, I click here, this is what will happen. So another thing I said hover button is very, very wrong for the mobile. So we are going to change the button. I'm going to close this and we're going to change the button. So if I check my work now, I come to prototype here. If I come to prototype here, when I click here, it should be able to take me to this part, not rectangle, but the header. So I want my user, when a user click on this logo, it should be able to take me to, sorry, it should be able to take me to this hero section. So I'm trying to click on this so that to take me to hero. So navigate to destination is going to be hero section, but it's not giving me the information here. So going to check that again. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. So when I click here, let's present. So I'm trying to achieve, if I click, get to this point, I should be able to click on this logo, right, to return back to this place. So this is what I'll be able to achieve. Now you can see that this is no longer hovering. So this is actually no longer hovering, because hovering are meant for larger screen, not for small screen. But any card hovering is right, but button hovering is wrong. So this is it. So you can see that it's no longer hover. Rather, it's going to be tap. So even if I get to this position and I click here, this is how it's going to look like. So guys, you can drop the attendance name. So you can write your name and ask your question. No question. No question, guys.
My question is, after this class, is your DM open for us?
Eh?
Open for us. My question
That's
is,
the-
after this class, is your DM open for us?
Yes. If I don't respond to you earlier, just know
Okay,
that
thank you.
maybe I'm not close to my phone, or sometimes I can get plenty